are here on another fun Friday. We love our Fridays. Our Fridays, we get to kind of kick back a little bit and have a little fun, kind of just really focus on just the family and ways to connect and
encouraging ways to connect.
So we're excited though. Today we have a special guest. So we have a special guest. Jamie from Date Crate is here. We kind of talked about her product before because we had some fun, but we're going to get to hear from her today. So we're so excited. So y'all stay tuned. It's going to be awesome.
All right. Welcome, guys. We are so excited for this guest that we have today, Jamie from Date Crates. I feel like we're best friends, and we met each other on Instagram, and we're best friends. And we have talked to you guys before about Date Crates. We have done her dates. So we are just ready to hear her heart on why this all came about and just her heart behind all of it. So welcome, Jamie. Say hello to everybody.
Thank you. Hello. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much.
We're so glad to have you.
Yeah, we're excited. So kind of tell us a little bit about you. We always like asking this kind of, what are your family dynamics? What's your makeup?
Okay. Well, I'm married to Cameron, and we've been married for 10 years. And we have 2 kiddos. We have 2 boys, and they are 7 and 4. So my house is just crazy all the time. It's just loud and crazy, but we have a good time. So that's kind of like my immediate family and my extended family. I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, and we have a good time. We live close to family now. We lived in Colorado for a while and then moved back. So it's been fun to kind of reconnect with family and do those types of things. So
and y'all aren't a blended family per se, like in your household, but right. you know the life of a blended family. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So my parents got divorced, I'm pretty sure 3 years ago. So it's fairly recent still. My mom ended up getting remarried just this past April. So yeah, that's been a whole new ball game for us, even being like adult kids. I'm like, whoa, this is different, so that's been a whole new, just a whole new level of family. So we've been working on that. And, so yeah, that's how I know. My dad has not got remarried. So he's just kind of living the bachelor life. And I live that every time I go to his house and have to try to find a blanket. So we,
that's so funny that you bring that up, because that's something I didn't know about you, that there are so many different dynamics in blended families. And actually it's harder on the adults sometimes whenever that does happen, that it's like, wait a minute, you don't know how to act. And then, like you said, your mom's remarried now. So yeah, that can come with some challenges.
So you got like new brothers and sisters?
Yes. See, this is like a whole thing, guys. We could get into it, but for sure he does have kids, but I haven't met them because they're older too. Like they're adult kids. And like, so it's been really hard to like come together as a family to like meet.
Yeah, figure it all out.
So which I have to say is one thing I love about you guys is that you're so open to all sides, because sometimes I get intimidated because I know divorce happens. And as a kid that lived through it, I'm always like, oh, I feel like I just like downpour on divorce, which I know that's not true. I just know that that's what I lived through. But there's also so many great things about blended families and about moving on towards that. And I know that you guys, your hearts are in that too. And I just love that.
For sure. Yeah.
You speak the realness of it. And that is really,
we try to balance the realness with the joy, because we're like,
exactly.
Scare everybody away.
Yes, that's the best way to say that.
And no one ever expects to wind up with divorce or anything like that, right? I mean, everybody always goes into relationships expecting the forever story, and then whenever that does happen, I mean, it's a thing in life, and you've got to be able to work past that and continue finding joy. And there's so many blessings when you do as well. So it's just kind of so many different mixed dynamics and stuff and emotions and people and all that.
It's so true. Well, and it's cool to see my mom actually work in this new marriage. Like it really is I've seen two different people. I mean, honestly, the one I grew up with and the one now that like really wants her relationship to work out and has changed those things to strive for that. So that's been cool to see.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we back you so much in what you're doing, because you're trying to like get it before it gets to that point. Like you're trying to strengthen the marriage in couples, putting dating as a priority. Because we know, like, because we've lived through that, when you don't prioritize that relationship, it can be devastating to your marriage. It can, to your children, to your family, and it can end in divorce when you don't prioritize that. So do you want to share with us a little bit about Date Crates and how that came about?
Yeah, I feel like that's like a perfect segue for it, because I was just thinking, honestly, I was just thinking about kind of like, you know, what kind of inspired me to do it. And in all honesty, it was my own marriage and watching my parents' marriage fail on, you know, and just kind of crash and burn there for a while. And it just kind of was that rocky way for a long time. I remember feeling that as a teenager, like something's up, like something is not like right. And Cameron and I think we were married for 8 years at this time. And so my parents' divorce was very recent, which was really a lot harder on me than I thought it was going to be. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So I remember calling my mom one time about, you know, just venting as a daughter does to a mom about marriage and like the struggles we were going through. And I think she was trying her best when she said these words to give me advice, but she said, yeah, your dad and I kind of were down that same road. And I was like, no, like I did not, I don't want to hear that, you know? And I think after that conversation, I was like, man, she's probably right. Cause I didn't really get the example of what a healthy relationship should look like. So what would that be? And I kind of just took an inventory of my relationship and my marriage. And I was like, how can I make it better? How can I make it better? And date nights were not happening at all in our marriage. And I read a lot of things where it was like, you know, date night is the number one thing you can do for your marriage, and make sure you're doing date night weekly. And it just kind of, I guess it was one of those times where it's like, I've heard it so many times, but then I finally actually heard it. And I was like, yeah, I need to do this. So it started just, I wanted to strengthen my own marriage and show to couples that it is hard. It is hard to prioritize date night and hard to prioritize your marriage. But it's so worth it if you can just keep going and trying and keep pursuing that relationship. Because like Randall said, you really don't get married to think you're going to get divorced later. Right. You get married because you love that person and you want that journey and that life together.
Yeah. That's so good and so true. And that's one of the things, like, I know in our marriage initially we kind of struggled with too. And it's so crazy, because that's some of the most fun things that you can do together as like a married couple. And that's the one thing that goes aside because life gets busy, you know, and you just let life happen, and things come, things go, start pulling your attention. And that's so easy to push to the back, but it's so devastating. And so it's bringing that back to the front. And what we love about Date Crates is we always look for those fun ideas to help us get outside of the box. Right. Or to get outside of just the everyday norm, because we can all fall into just this same old ritual. Like, what are we doing this week?
What movie are you going to take me to?
Right. Yeah. And so you kind of lose that excitement to want to do it. And so that's what we love about Date Crates and kind of what y'all have put together. So kind of tell us about it. I mean, what
is a date crate?
Okay. So a date crate is essentially like a date in a box. I just like the date crate because it was just a fun little thing that I wanted to do. So it's a date in a box. You get everything included in it for that very reason, because I was kind of tired of always planning, and I was tired of my husband thinking of the same thing over and over again, thinking that was fun, you know? And so I was like, this would be great for couples, because you kind of both have the surprise element. So you get the main activity, which is always, you know, something you're doing. Like, I know you guys did the fondue, so that was like the main activity you did.
No, we did fondue.
Fond
It was
nude.
fondue.
Yeah, we did
Oh,
the
I cannot
fondue.
forget that. That will forever be fondue. And that is exactly what it was.
That
And it
was
lived up
awesome.
to its title, I just have to say.
So for just anybody that doesn't know, you didn't happen to listen to that one. She had a fondue date night. It had chocolate and all these goodies and these questions and intimacy cards. But she had accidentally on the little flyer at this big convention, big Pinterest convention, had switched the letters out or something, and instead of fondue, it was fond nude. And somebody that just was like passing by and looking at it spotted it, right? Or how did it come about?
Yeah, she picked it up and she was like, "Oh, fond nude, that's so funny." And I was like, "What?" Oh yeah, I totally meant to do that. Yeah.
Oh, it's so it's fun when those things happen because
and when they work out, I mean,
yeah. Yes. Oh, it was so, but it was so put together well. I mean, just the fondue part of it that we did, with the chocolate, and I'm a chocolate fanatic. So I mean, if you have chocolate in it, I'm sold. You know what I mean? So it doesn't take a lot, just a little chocolate, and so we did that. But what was awesome were the cards. So that kind of coupled with that date that we had, and it really got us just talking about some really topics that we hadn't really talked about before, right?
Yeah.
And we're like almost 15 years in a marriage, and there's still things you get to learn, and there's still things you get to explore, and it's just really cool. So that I love that part of it.
Good. I'm glad to hear it, because that's the other thing that we've been talking about is like my main goal in my dates is like, you could do any activity, great, but like my main goal is to help you focus back on each other, because like I heard a quote recently that said life happens and marriage gets blamed for it. And I feel like that is so true. And so if we can just kind of focus back on each other, because our focus tends to go into life, and that's just a natural thing. But if I can help couples like bring that focus into each other, that's why I love including conversation cards in all of my dates. And this one that you guys happen to do is intimate. They're not always intimate. There's some like funny questions, revisiting questions too, that I feel like you could also ask again. And then after you do your main activity and your connecting activity, I always try to include a couples challenge card, which is just intentional there for when the date ends, that you have something else to happen after the date. So you're not just like, oh yeah, I went on a date, check that off, my relationship is good. I want couples to really challenge themselves to be thoughtful of their spouse, or their spouse be thoughtful of them. And so I will specifically say, hey, husbands, it's your turn to do this, or wives, it's your turn to do this. And make that happen. So
love that.
So are you able to tell us some of the upcoming, because you usually do them like in seasonal, right? Like you usually have like 3 or something going at a time, 3 or 4.
Yes.
Can you tell us what the upcoming are? Or is it a secret?
Yeah, sure. I would love to. I'm actually like so proud of myself that I have them ready for you. So our winter collection is out right now, and that includes our hot chocolate tasting date, which is like a wine tasting, but just for hot chocolates and like different gourmet ones you can try. So there's that theme date. The one that just came out here in January is a love time capsule date, where you're looking back on 2021, looking ahead of 2022, kind of writing.
I saw that one. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. So there's that one. And then February's is also included in our winter collection. And it is the one that I'm most excited about, because I'm a music fanatic, and it is all around love songs. So it's a game board. You get to play a game together, and depending on what color you land on is determined, but it will determine which question you get asked. So
that's fun.
So like super fun. I might even like add a spin the microphone game in there just to make it fun. Like I'm just so excited about it.
That does sound like fun.
Yeah, I'm in on that one. I'm a music fanatic as well. So that'll be a blast. So when are those out now, or is that's coming out in February?
So my 2 so December and January's are all right now. February's I'm trying to wrap up this week, so it can be available to purchase.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, yeah, because when this episode's out, for those that are listening, it's at the end of January. And so these are like perfect time, guys, to get the gift for your spouse, for your significant other, to buy this. And it's something that can just really speak into that marriage and out of the box. Like literally, you take it out of the box.
No, for real. Well, and I freaking love, that's why I loved your review, honestly, both of you, because I mean, Scarlett was like, I mean, I could have bought this stuff. Yeah, I know. Like, I want to make it easy for couples, like, see it and they're like, oh, I could do that. That looks easy. But if you don't want to prep anything, that's why I'm your girl. Like, I want to do that for you and just open it and do it.
Well, that's it. And I don't want to have to go buy all this stuff. I don't want to have to think about it and then try to come up and create it and say, you know, well, I could do this or that, and you do all that and it's right there and it gets shipped right to you. And that's the amazing part. So you don't have to go out. It just comes straight to you and bam, y'all get to enjoy it. So that's one of the great things that I love about it as well. So that's really cool.
So what would you say is like your favorite, like from all the ones you've done in the past, or like most popular date that you're like, wow, everybody wanted that one. That's crazy.
Okay. My favorite one. Okay. I will say, I probably won't say my favorite. I think my favorite's honestly going to be February's, but I would say the most popular I know of for sure, which is so funny to me because I'm always so surprised at what people love, has either been the chocolate tasting. There's like a blind chocolate tasting one I did last February, and my spring one that I've done 2 years in a row, which is Our Love Is to Die For, and it's a tie-dye date.
Okay.
And that one sells out every time. So
really?
Yeah.
Wow. A tie-dye date. That sounds
a tie-dye date. And you have, I think it's because couples, I feel like I'm not competitive until it comes to Cameron and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready to kick your butt in whatever we're doing. And that one has like mini battles in it that you do, like challenging against each other. So it's
okay. Does the challenge determine like how your shirt, is it a shirt that you're tie-dyeing?
No, so like that's your main activity is tie-dyeing a shirt while you're waiting for it to dry. You're just doing things like who can find the first 11 letter word in a book. Like who's the first who can find that? And you like go do those types of things.
So it's just a lot of little challenges while you're waiting for the shirts to dry. And oh, that's fun. That's fun. Yeah, because we're not competitive at all.
He's lying. At church, when we would go to youth camps and stuff, they would separate us because they knew it would make us go that much harder when we were against each other instead of being on the same team. And I'm like,
it's something about it. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's well, that's awesome that you get to bring that competitiveness and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my jam too.
So you do the dates though, like you and Cameron do the dates as well?
We try to. Sometimes I can't because I've created it so I already know all the answers.
Oh yeah.
Or like it's like it doesn't bring the surprise element that it does to most couples. So I do try to do them still, or I'll do like one thing out of them. Like I'm pretty sure I've done every conversation deck just because I love them so much. Because I'm honestly like so curious. I'll be like, I don't even think I know what Cameron would say, and so I will usually ask him all the questions.
So actually what you're telling us is we've got the easy part because we get the excitement and stuff, and you got to work a little harder now because you're creating all this. And so
right. But it's okay. I like it. I love it.
Yeah.
She was a previous preschool teacher as well. Like she taught the little ones, right? It was 4-year-olds or what did you teach?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. 4-year-olds.
So she has that same like mindset, I think, like I do.
Creative mentality.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
What's like like the most rewarding story? Let's do that. What's the most rewarding story that you've heard from one of these dates that you've had? Hey, we'll be back momentarily. Check out this announcement.
Are you tired of complaining about your blended family and you just want to start enjoying it? Scarlett and Randall here, and that's where I was several years ago until Randall and we began to start searching and seeking out solutions for our family. We knew that we wanted this to be a success, but we didn't know how to get there. So we began searching and finding different resources. So we created this Mom's Quick Guide to Blending Her Stepfamily. It's a 5-step process for blending success. We took all the things that we've learned over the years and we've put it in this one guide for you so that you can stop complaining about it like I was and start enjoying your family.
There's so much power whenever we actually start taking some of these steps. You see the momentum shift in your family. You see so much better results, more blessings. That's what we had found out whenever we started going through it, because things weren't working as good as we wanted. Things were okay, but we wanted it better. And whenever we started doing these things, man, we saw such a change. And we want that for your family as well. We want you to have this guide. It's 5 simple steps, 5 things that you can do that can help get you those results that you want. And right now, whenever you get your copy today, we're throwing in some extra bonuses just to sweeten the deal for you. So go get your copy with all the bonuses while we still have this offer going. The link will be in the show notes below. Now back to this episode.
Oh man, I will tell you one story, but before that, I'd say my most rewarding thing is honestly when husbands say, I had such a fun time with this date. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
yes, like husbands are the hardest seller. And I want people to know that, like, my husband isn't always like gung ho for date night and like, yeah, let's go do all these things. I feel like that's pretty typical in a marriage. And so when I can get husbands to say, that was actually really fun, or I really liked this part, I'm like, yes, that is
You know you have a winner.
yes.
Because as guys, we are very challenging, and it can be tough sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I have to drag him along, and he usually has fun after I drag him along.
Well,
She has
that's
like
the
this
thing. They
Randall
always
rope,
have fun
like-
after. Exactly. Yes. You just tie the date rope on and you just bring it in.
That's
and
right.
you
It's like,
always
no,
have
you're
fun.
coming, you're doing this. And then
Yes.
at the end, it's like, oh, that was really fun. I told
Yeah.
you. Would
I
you do
told
this more
you.
often? Yeah, it's just- yeah, I don't know why we're that way. I don't know, but you know.
But it's okay. As long as you guys come, it's just, we know you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, but the good thing is you have food in it, so I mean that's always the way to a man's
It's
heart is
enticing.
food. So yeah.
I love that. Good feedback.
Yeah.
So a story though that got me was I was during Halloween and I was doing a like giveaway, and one of the husbands had won a date night, and this was a couple in Alabama. So I, shipped it off and didn't really think anything of it. And he had texted me about like 2 weeks after, or, messaged me and was like, hey, I really just wanted to say thank you for your date, because we had just found out a week ago that we had lost our baby.
Oh.
And so, which just automatically, just hurt my heart. And he just said, the laughter that your date gave us is exactly what we needed.
Wow.
We just needed to laugh. And I just really wanted to say thank you. And for somebody to take the time and just like respond, like just message a message like that was just so special to me. And that's been my favorite message.
Man, that is powerful.
And I'm so emotional, so you had me cry.
I know. I'm gonna say my neck gets so red when I'm gonna cry.
Oh, that does, but that's just the power behind it, right? It's the power behind couples coming together and actually laughing and having fun. And man, it does something. It just really builds your marriage and strengthens your marriage so much.
And we had said that same thing, because when we got the box in, we were actually still at his parents' house because his dad had just passed away. And so it had been similar thing, just a hard season. And then to come back and it's like, oh, we need to do the date crate because we were going to record a podcast. And we weren't quite feeling it, but we went through the motions anyways. And it just gave us that like, breath of fresh air and something else to focus on during that time. So it really does make a difference.
Yeah.
I love that.
If there was a couple that was struggling out there and just not they're either in that season of the newness and they haven't figured out how to connect yet, or they're at that slump in their marriage, like you talked about when y'all were going through that, that 7-year mark sometimes seems like a very, hard time. Just we get comfortable with each other, or the kids grow up and move out and you're trying to reconnect. If they're in that point of struggling, what would you suggest, like first steps?
So I am like a very big believer in hard conversation. I feel like that's just like where you grow. Like pain comes with life. And I would much rather feel pain with my husband than probably anybody else in the world. And so if we can get through that, like I've learned that though. Yeah. And so I've been, but that's where I usually tell couples to start, is to stop attacking each other about the thing, about date night, especially if this is the topic, and stop saying, I want, because there's always the underlying emotion under all of that is love. Like for me, it was like, I want to be with you. I want to spend time with you. It's not that I want you to take me to a movie. Like I want time together. And so if you can really just like open yourself up to your spouse, because like Randall said, for some reason you get closed off. And I think it's just life happens and you kind of just build this wall, and you kind of have to learn to break that down again with your spouse. And so I know that's like a really tough beginner level, but that's like really what will open it up. It's like if you just have your vulnerable conversation with your spouse and lead with love. And that's what I say. And also, you're not going to be perfect at it. I always would get so overwhelmed with like, oh my gosh, we're not doing date night every week. Might as well get divorced today. Like I would get so upset that we weren't perfect. And I had to remember that it's not going to be perfect. You just have to keep trying at it, because you're worth trying. You're worth trying to have that time together and keep going. You have to get through the awkward stage again. That's just another level of it. You kind of get to that. So, but then it's just worth it. Cameron and I both got to the point where we're like, man, we didn't know we needed date night so much until we actually did it.
Yeah. Well, that's the crazy thing about it, is you don't know that that's what you need.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But that's the other crazy part that we were talking earlier. But when you do it, it's like, this is fun. Why don't we do more of this? This is crazy.
And a weird phenomenon that happens that we've just noticed is that when we are not spending that time together, we began to pick each other apart more. We see each other's flaws and we focus on that. And it was several years in that we realized this pattern of every time we got to that point that we were annoyed with the other person, it was because we weren't spending time with them. You would think that wouldn't be the case, but we would start spending the time, we would start dating each other again and be more intentional, and you fall back in love.
You do. I absolutely relate to that. Absolutely.
And it always seemed to be in a busy season. So the kids were always involved in this or that. And, we were just getting pulled so many different ways that, like we said, that went on the back burner, and we start snipping at each other and just kind of, that's the cause of it, and so, coming back together. So
it's true.
Stuff.
Yep. And it's cool that you recognize that. Like that's like my goal, is to like help couples recognize that, like, you just need that time. You just need it.
Well, I love how you said start with the conversations and having the hard conversations and getting vulnerable. That's, that's one of the things that'll bring you as a couple closer together more than anything, is just getting vulnerable. And I think that sometimes we don't want to let those walls down.
No.
But once you do, there's so much reward behind that.
Absolutely.
But you said that, and then being flexible, that was, man, that's amazing, because that's kind of what we've been talking about as well, as no family is perfect. No family. I don't know a family that is, because there's not one, right? No. We all got mess. We all got stuff. So, but the best family is the one that gets up and keeps trying, that never quits, that never stops. So that's what I love about this date crate ideas. It helps bring you together. It helps keep you talking, opening up conversation, doing something fun and new. And That's one thing we found too, is that whenever you do something out of the box that's new, that's different, that you've never done before, it's a whole new level of intimacy. It's a
Oh, it is.
whole
Yeah.
of laughter and things of that.
Yes. It's almost like it takes you back to pre-marriage
Yeah.
because all of those dates were all new, So if you can kind of bring that back into your marriage, it just brings that whole intimate part back.
We
So I
love that. We
Mhm.
love that. Good stuff. So much good stuff came
Yeah.
from this today.
We could definitely, and when we've talked on Instagram Live before, we went all different trails of conversation and stuff.
We did.
We'll definitely have to have you on here more and get Cameron on here at some point and have some different conversations. But for now, like, where can our listeners find you most?
Instagram is my jam. Like, I love it there. I'm always there. So I'm at date_crates. There is where you can find me. I do have a website, but honestly, I am not tech savvy. So it's just the purpose there is to help you connect to dates and order some for you. But yeah, to get to know me more, just see me on Instagram. It's fun. It's a party over there.
Tell them just a little bit, because I love following you on Instagram because of just the advice and the date ideas and everything that you post. Tell them a little bit. You have Friday matchups and mini dates.
Yeah. Yes.
Two things that I love just seeing on there.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Okay. Yes. So every Friday, I do a Friday date matchup where I love to just pair something to go along with your date. So if you already have something planned where you're like, oh, maybe she can think of something to spice it up or add to it. That's like one of my favorite days of the week when I get everybody's date plans, and I'll just shoot you a suggestion, either like a restaurant, or I'll send you some conversation questions to go with your date theme, or a bedroom game that you can play when you get home, like just little things to make it even better for you. So I love doing that.
And I love to share your responses and what they said. And so it's like, if you're following Jamee on Fridays, you can get like all these date ideas just from seeing what people are doing and how she pairs it with something else.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
About
I love
the mini dates.
Go ahead. Okay, the mini dates. Yes. So the mini dates, I will typically come up with these most of the time when me and Cameron are in our busy season. I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to do something. And so I found that just taking like 15 minutes to do these little silly mini dates have been so fun. I have a fast food mini date on my Instagram, which is like, can you order your spouse's order at Wendy's? Go. You have 30 seconds to spout out what they would order. And it's been fun for me and Cameron to do that, because I'll be like, hey, tell me what I would order. And just like having that fun. And I'm hoping that's what couples do when they see it, and they're doing this at home too. So yeah, my mini dates are fun too.
That is fun. So Instagram is your jam.
Yeah.
So everybody connect there, because that is just good stuff. So all kinds of different date ideas just to keep your relationships alive and full of life. So there's so much power there. Well, we thank you. Thank you so much, Jamee, for jumping on here and sharing your ideas and your products with us. And like I said, we are fans. We've used it and we love it. So we're advocates for you and what you're bringing and the message behind it, really. So the message is really what pulls us in, because there's power in that. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your heart and everything behind that.
Let me ask this, and Randall, he likes to figure these things out ahead of time, and I like to just throw them out there. But is there a way that the listeners could have like a discount, like a promo code for if they order them within a certain time period?
Yes. If anybody will use the code DATE10, it will get you 10% off.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, awesome. Y'all hear that, listeners? Boom.
Date 10.
Day 10. Jump on that. So yeah, no, great stuff. Thank you again. This has been fun. I know this is just the first time that we're gonna sit here and be able to do this. So it's amazing. Thank you for taking the time to do this. But I know listeners, y'all have gained so much from this. And y'all go get some date crates because it is, and I'm excited about this February one. So that one sounds really cool.
Yes, you're gonna love it.
I'm gonna have to get that one for Randall.
It's gonna be so fun.
That's gonna be awesome. So yeah, everyone get it. Go.
Get it.
Do it. Do it now. Have fun.
And then post
Date each
about
other.
it and like hashtag date crates, hashtag enjoying your blended family.
Yes, tag me. I love seeing couples have fun with dates. This is the best. And thank you, both of you, for allowing me to be here. It's been such an honor.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. So thank you, listeners. I know you grabbed a lot of stuff from that. And we thank you. Just go date each other. Have fun together because it's well worth it. And do something out of the box. Go get a date crate and try something new. So it's really fun.
Yeah.
Comes straight to your door. We loved it. You'll love it. So go have some fun with it. And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Hey, thanks for joining us for another fun Friday here at Enjoying Your Blended Family. All the links we talked about today are in the show notes. And if you enjoyed listening, be sure to subscribe because it's free and it lets you know when we have another episode out for you to listen to.
And if you don't mind helping us out so we can start reaching more people, leave us a rating and review. You never know when we'll give you a shout out. Until next time, have fun being intentional and remember to enjoy the moment.